In this video, I'm going to teach you the simplest way to kill crabgrass in your lawn. I'm not only going to teach you that way, I'm going to show you how we're going to kill crabgrass, because we're actually going to spray it in the video and watch it die. At least that's the plan. But on top of that, I'm also going to show you the difference between crabgrass and some other imposter weeds that may look similar to crabgrass, so that when you go out there and you spray the weed and it doesn't die and you say, hey, it didn't kill the crabgrass, and the reason it didn't kill it because it wasn't crabgrass to start with. So I'm going to help you identify what crabgrass actually looks like in the lawn. We're going to get started. I'm going to show you the products you need, the one simple product that will control probably 99% of crabgrass you're going to come across, and a secondary product if that product somehow fails and the 1% sneaks by. I'll show you the other products you need to control crabgrass. Today's video is sponsored by Graham Spray Equipment. I run a weed control and fertilization business, and I've been doing so for a long time, and I use a Graham spray rig on the back of my truck. If you need a spray rig for your business, go to grahamsc.com or give those guys a call. Okay, without further delay, here's the two products you need if you're going to control crabgrass before we get out there and spray it. Now, first up, this one's called Resolute 4FL. Now, when we look at these products, we want to look at the active ingredient, because this will come under different names. This one's Resolute. It comes in liquid form, granular form. You can use different forms, but the active ingredient here, if you see there, if my camera will focus, is called prodiamine. So prodiamine is a widely used herbicide to control crabgrass in your lawn as a pre-emergent, meaning that we want to get this down and water it in before the crabgrass germinates, which is typically when soil temperatures reach 55 degrees. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't sit around and measure soil temperatures all day. So what does that practically mean? Well, I'm in the Birmingham, Alabama market, and for me, that's typically late February, early March when that happens. Sometimes it doesn't always fall perfectly on a calendar, but you can even tell by shrubs. For instance, this shrub, I think it's called a forsythia. I get it confused a little bit, but it puts out yellow flowers. But about the time that these yellow flowers fall off of these forsythia shrubs is when the crabgrass germinates. So maybe even more practical than that, when the temperatures get up, start getting into the 70s, it would be a good idea to have that pre-emergent down and watered in. Now, the thing about a pre-emergent herbicide is it basically is just going to work if you get it down before the weed germinates. So you want to get it down a little bit too early would be better than too late. Now, like controlling a lot of weeds, spraying quinclorac when the crabgrass is in an early life stage is more effective than when it's in the strong middle stages of its life. If you wait and spray it later in the life cycle, it can also be more effective, but by that point, it's getting close to dying off from the winter. Annual weed in where I live, meaning that it's going to die off when the winter comes. It's a warm season annual. It's going to germinate, like I said, February, March time frame, when we get a frost, and then it dies, and then it'll come back from the seeds of that plant, will drop seeds and make a new plant the next year. Perennial weed, which is going to come back year after year after year, because on a perennial weed, a pre-emergent herbicide is not going to really do us a whole lot of good. In South Florida, let's say, or maybe farther south parts of Texas, where it's so warm it doesn't ever freeze, and the crabgrass may be technically a perennial in those situations where you'd have to use a post-emergent in that situation. So if the crabgrass hasn't germinated yet, use your pre-emergent. If it's already there, a existing plant you're out there looking at, look here, I've got crabgrass, then spray it with a post-emergent, which would be our quinclorac. Now, the rate on quinclorac is 1.45 ounces per 1,000 square feet. Now, we typically equate 1,000 square feet with a gallon of water in one of these handheld sprayers. So you could say 2.9 ounces for this 2 gallons here, and I've added some surfactant to the mix to make it more effective. So let's go look at the crabgrass and then we'll spray it. All right, so you look over this lawn, it looks great and looks like, wow, where's the weeds? Well, if you get out here to the certain section, there are weeds, and it's crabgrass. Now, it has kind of a light green color to it, and it hasn't put up a seed head yet. This is being filmed in late May. Now, soon it'll start putting up a seed head. It's a little thin seed head, and when the seed head comes, it's much more easy to tell it compared to some of the other weeds that are grassy weeds as well. So anyway, this is what crabgrass looks like in the yard, and we're going to spray these different plots and maybe even test it out with a different product to just compare the results. Now, here's one. Again, you see this one that's got kind of a deep red center to it there. That's annual foxtail, another grassy weed, but not crabgrass. Now, one more weed I want to show you that often gets confused with crabgrass. This is Dallas grass. Now, this is an example of a perennial grassy weed. So our Preemergent is not going to do anything with this, but we can spray it with a Postemergent. Now, the solitaire, but we can spray this with a Postemergent. Now, the quinclorac not going to do a whole lot for this. I would use a different combination to control Dallas grass in the lawn. I've got other videos out there on how to control Dallas grass. Now I've got some footprints here. It's early in the morning, there's dew on the ground. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna spray two different sections. Spray this section with a combination of Celsius and Certainty. Those are two products. They give you pretty good broad leaf control, grassy weed control, and sedge control in warm season lawns, a combo I use a lot. And it will give us some sort of results, but I don't really expect it to kill the weed. I wanna also compare that with spraying the quinclorac on this larger patch and see if we can get complete control in that area. And then we'll leave some of it not sprayed. So I've got them mixed up here. The orange one has the quinclorac in it. The other one has the Certainty. We're going to spray it, not trying to drown the weed, just want to get it wet, the leaves. Make sure you're wearing your PPE. You see I've got rubber boots on, long sleeves and pants, and wear your rubber gloves when you make this application, and then we'll come back and check on the results. Hopefully we'll get some fairly fast results. All right, first up, we're going to spray the quinclorac on this patch right here. And next up, we're going to spray the Celsius and Certainty on this just to compare the results. All right, let's give it some time and we will check back on the results. I started something completely new recently. I'm offering a 12-month mentorship for those that are looking to get into the weed control and fertilization business. If you're interested in that, lawncarelife.com, and there's a link there where you can book a free 15-minute call with me, see if it's going to be a good fit for you. Go to lawncarelife.com. There's also a link in the description to book that 15-minute call. One thing I forgot to mention is the prodiamine. What rate do you apply it? Well, typically prodiamine, if we're going to talk about applying a pre-emergent, we might do it early in the year before the warm season weeds germinate, and then again in the fall before the cool season weeds germinate. And this will give you an annual maximum rate. So I believe the annual maximum rate on this particular version is 48 ounces per acre. So what we want to do in that situation often is take half of that rate and apply it early in the year for the crabgrass. So at this, I'm going to put it out at 24 ounces per acre. Now, if you're using a granular form, you can still look at the label, get the annual max rate, and take half of that and put it out before the crabgrass germinates. Again, better to be early than late. So we're about 36 hours in, and the point of this is just to simply show you the difference between the Celsius Certainty spray versus the quinclorac. So let's take a look. All right, I think we will check on this again, but this is the initial look here, and which one do you think this is? You can see here, maybe the slightest bit of discoloration, but not a whole lot going on. That is the Celsius and Certainty. Compare that with the quinclorac. Actually, let's show that with some that hasn't been sprayed at all. You can see a little bit of difference there versus the quinclorac. And maybe it's showing up on the camera, but you can see definitely in my visible eye here, some discoloration with that quinclorac on the day after I sprayed it. So pretty quick results. I think we're gonna get much more dramatic results in the coming days. I'll be curious to see how fast this works, but just want to give you the initial checkup, and we will be checking back on this very soon. So we're about a week in after the application. The results were actually faster than that. I've just been busy, hadn't had time to film it, or hadn't made that a priority. Let me go show you what it looks like. The crabgrass results are very definite. There's no question which product worked better. Let's check it out. The grass was cut one time. Let me show you what the crabgrass that wasn't sprayed looks like. You can see after it was mowed, it's starting to grow back. And then as you get over here, the Celsius and Certainty combination, and we could give this a little bit more time, and you see it is working. I mean, it's not like it's not doing anything. It's certainly discoloring the crabgrass without causing much damage at all to the Bermuda grass, which is a good sign. Again, you can see, well, this actually looks like some of the foxtail potentially, maybe. Yeah, this is that annual foxtail. But then look at this. I mean, is that what we're going for or what? Look at the green Bermuda and then the brown crabgrass. So clearly dominated the opponent here with the quinclorac. So summarizing, make sure that you know you're spraying crabgrass, because if we spray Dallas grass or something like that with quinclorac, you're not going to get a lot of results on that. If I sprayed the Foxtail, I think it would get some results. I'm not sure it'd be quite as impressive as that. Also, again, not all crabgrass is created equal. Some of it's more difficult to control than others. This particular variety here stood no match for the quinclorac. Thanks for watching. I want to also mention a couple things. I've got 2 new things out recently. One is a 1-year mentorship I'm offering for people that want to get into the weed control and fertilization business. There is a link in the description for set up a free 15-minute call with me to see if it's a good fit. 1-year mentorship and can help you be successful in that first year. The other thing is a homeowner course that's for ones that want to have a nice Bermuda zoysia lawn. It's a video course, helps you understand exactly what to do to your lawn in video format. It's very well done and put a lot of time into that, so you can check that out. It's called the Bermuda Zoysia Academy. So those links are in the description. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.